Are you one of those people that has a ton of bacon grease just sitting in your refrigerator or on your counter and you're not sure how to use it? Well, fear not, because you've come to the right place. I love bacon grease. It is my fat of choice, and I know exactly how to use it. I always have bacon grease in my kitchen. Now, I put mine right by the stove. Some people store it in the refrigerator. I'm going to tell you exactly how to store it at the end. It is liquid gold if you know how to use it. So today I'm going to tell you the top 5 ways that I use bacon grease right here in my kitchen nearly every single day. Probably the most frequent way I use bacon grease is it's how I cook our scrambled eggs. Mine and the kids, and my husband also eats a fair amount of bacon grease. But I will say my fat of choice when it comes to this way of eating is always going to be bacon grease. Most people use butter. You're missing out if you're not using bacon grease to cook your scrambled eggs, or any egg for that matter. When you scramble your eggs in bacon grease, you're not only adding fat to the eggs, you're also adding flavor, a lot of flavor. The flavor of a thing we often eat with eggs, bacon. It's delicious, it's yummy, and it just makes scrambled eggs leveled up in a way that if you have never had scrambled eggs with bacon grease, you're gonna love. As long as you like bacon. If you don't like bacon, then I don't know, maybe you probably shouldn't be watching this video. And for my scrambled eggs, I always use about 1 tablespoon of bacon grease per egg. You can use as little or as much as you like. We follow the Bob Ross rules around here. This is your little painting, and you just do whatever you want to do. Boiled eggs. Now, you can either use bacon grease to make your deviled eggs or dressed eggs, depending on where you're from. When you boil the eggs and you get the yolk out and you're mixing up, a lot of people use mayonnaise. You absolutely can use mayonnaise, but if you add a tablespoon or 2 of some warmed, not hot, warmed bacon fat, it just levels it up. Bacon grease levels everything up. I'm gonna say leveled up many times in this video, I am afraid. So add it to your dressed eggs, add it to your egg salad. Egg salad is not really a salad in the same way that chicken salad or tuna salad is not actually a salad. So you're just gonna take a bunch of eggs, put some pickles and onions, some fresh dill, some homemade mayonnaise, and bacon grease. You'll thank me later. I was only gonna give you 1 egg example, but I gave you 3. Lily, there's an egg, but I gave you 3, so okay. Moving on to my next favorite thing that I use bacon grease for, and that is salad dressing. If you've watched some of my What I Ate in a Day vlogs, you may have seen me use bacon fat as salad dressing. Now, that sounds weird, but it's not. It's so good. So if you think about good vinaigrettes or any salad dressing, really, the base is a fat, and there's always an acid, and then you add seasonings. So when I'm making a salad, I'm usually making a chicken salad or a steak salad. Like, there's always a lot of protein, boiled eggs, bacon, tomatoes, and stuff like that. Like, it's mostly the toppings. I like to say I have salad without the salad. Now, sometimes I do have lettuce. I prefer romaine over anything else. I usually use romaine. So I will put my salad, lettuce of choice, in a bowl. Then I'll put all the toppings in, and I usually use like a Tupperware. Put all my stuff in there, and then I'll warm up a few tablespoons of bacon grease. It does not take much. Bacon grease goes a long ways. A little goes a long ways. So I'll warm it up, not hot, although you can do it hot, and then you can have wilted greens, which is something that my granny did when I was little, but we're not talking about that today. Most people don't like that. That's a very niche dish, I think. So you're gonna warm it just enough to make it liquid, which is not much, like probably a few seconds in the microwave would do just fine. Then you're gonna drizzle it over your salad. Then you can add some seasonings. You can add some Italian seasoning. You can add salt. You can add pepper, whatever you like, garlic, and then you're gonna shake it up. And that's it. You're gonna have a really tasty salad. Now, you can also add a little vinegar or some lemon juice in there for some acid if you want a little tang to it. Both are delicious. Just the bacon grease on its own with the salad, or bacon grease as like a redneck vinaigrette. Try it. I promise, it's so good. How else do I use bacon grease? If you have a lot of bacon grease, you can also make mayonnaise. Yes, mayonnaise is a very simple recipe. It's just like 3 ingredients. So it's a fat. A lot of people use avocado oil. I like to use bacon grease. It's egg and it's a little bit of an acid, and you can use a food processor. There's tons of recipes online. I have one where me and my little boy made bacon grease mayo. But you just basically substitute the fat in the recipe. If it calls for olive oil or avocado oil, then you're going to replace it with, you guessed it, bacon grease. It's really tasty, and again, you can add that to any of your salads that aren't salads, like tuna salad, chicken salad, egg salad, and it's fantastic. You can also use it in your deviled eggs. Of course, just like any homemade mayonnaise, it's not going to be good forever, so use it within 2 to 3 days of it being in your refrigerator. And make sure you refrigerate it. It's got raw eggs in it. And the last way that I like to use bacon fat is for frying things on the stovetop. So I love to make homemade chicken nuggets. Now, I don't eat gluten and I don't use flour, so I use pork panko, which is just crushed up pork rinds, and Parmesan cheese and seasonings. And then before I do anything, I cook a big batch of bacon on a pot on top of the stove. And I have a whole video that me and Ken did years and years ago you can go watch, called Bacon Chips. And it's where we make a mess of bacon on the stove in a pot as opposed to a skillet. So once I get done making that bacon, I scoop out the bacon. That's a side dish. Now I have all that bacon grease in this pot ready to deep fry things like chicken nuggets. If you deep fry other things, I mean, feel free to use it for that. For the most part, the only things I deep fry are my own homemade chicken nuggets that I do, like I said, with pork panko and Parmesan. But they taste so good. Like I said, it levels things up. Powerful. And it has even a little nutritional value. It has a little bit of choline and maybe a little bit of potassium, but for the most part, I use it because it tastes amazing and it's basically free because all I have to do is cook bacon and put it in my little container. I will link this container in the description below. So speaking of storage, I get asked a lot in my What I Eat in a Day vlogs, because I use bacon grease a lot, how I store my bacon grease. Now, I grew up with a granny who used bacon grease as often as I do for everything. Everything had bacon grease in it, and that's how I live my life, okay? So my bacon grease lives right here next to the stove, right here. It stays here because I use it all the time. But some people, that makes some people nervous, and that's okay. I understand. So if you are going to leave your bacon grease out, I'm telling you, I am nearly 40 years old, and in that lifetime, the bacon grease I've used and my granny used set on the stove, it's never went bad, not one time. But we use it. We use it all the time. So if you're not going to use bacon grease often, then by all means store it in the refrigerator, and it's going to last till the apocalypse probably. You also want to make sure if you do leave your bacon grease out, it is not in a clear jar. So a lot of people put their bacon grease in mason jars, but the sun can get to your bacon grease if your jar is clear, and that can make it go rancid. So if you're going to use a mason jar, then you're going to have to put it where the sun can't get to it, or you could put it in the refrigerator because the sun's probably not going to get it to it in there either. But if you want to be safest, get you a container that's made specifically for bacon grease. And don't be like some people who use a coffee tin or a Folgers plastic, nothing styrofoam. It really needs to be glass or ceramic, okay? Please do not put your bacon grease in anything else, okay? I beg of you. I beg of you. This is a bad thing to do. Do not do it. A bacon grease specific container, a mason jar, something ceramic or glass, all right? So those are the ways that I use bacon grease. If you have something different that you love to use your bacon grease for, please leave it in the comments, because I'm always looking for another way to use bacon grease. But I guarantee you, whatever you say, I have probably done. I've even eaten bacon grease with a spoon. I've eaten bacon grease on a pork rind. I love bacon grease. Anyways, I hope you found this bacon grease video helpful. If you did, make sure to smash that thumb. Maybe I'll see you in the next one. Go forth and use your bacon grease. Don't be scared. It's delicious. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.